Huoshan Huang, my good friend. Let's see what this new batch is like. Hey everyone, Sigi here, and as most of you might know by now, I like yellow tea. So I've already made a bunch of videos about yellow tea. One of my all-time favorites is Huoshan Huoshan Huangcha, however you may want to call it. But this is a tea that I've enjoyed since, I think, basically ever since I became aware of nannuoshan. And today, I'm here on the nannuoshan YouTube channel to try the new 2023 batch of Huoshan Huang or Huoshan Huangcha, one of my favorites. I'm very excited. I've already prepared 3 grams of this tea in my 100 milliliter gaiwan here. But first off, let's give this a smell. Ooh. This... I feel like this smells even more chocolatey than the one we had last year. Just a quick glance at the leaves. Maybe this one's a bit darker than last time as well. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera so maybe you can see it a little bit. But yeah, I also feel like the leaves are a little smaller again. Maybe kind of like a higher grade picking or something. Just going by smell and visuals alone, I'm very excited to try this. It is from the exact same producer as last time, so should be easy to compare the two. Okay, just gonna start steeping this. Very, very exciting. Yeah. As we wait, what can I say about this tea? It is going to be on the nannuoshan shop at 21 euros for 50 grams on the EU shop, $23 for 50 grams on the US shop. Quite a decent price. At least in my opinion, it's well worth spending this kind of money on Huoshan Huangcha. And it can also hold its price compared to previous editions of this particular tea. So I'm very excited to see where this one goes in terms of quality. Like, is it about the same? Is it maybe even better? We'll see. Okay. So, as I've mentioned in previous yellow tea videos, one of the things I really enjoy about yellow tea is that it's not particularly fussy when it comes to steep times. I could have let this sit for a little longer if I really wanted to, but here we go. This is the first steep. This is what the liquor looks like. Nice and clear. Some hairs floating in there. Oh yeah. So this, I think, is on a trajectory that's kind of comparable to the Huoshan Huang from 2022. In that it is a bit more kind of oolong-like than the previous offerings. But this one has this kind of chocolatey note that's been present in I think all of them is further amplified here. And oh, it's so nice. There is also a little bit of freshness coming through underneath, which makes for a nice contrast. Very pleasant aroma. But let's see how that holds up when we taste it. I just hopelessly overfilled one of those cups. So nice. Okay. Gonna take this one first. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, this is the Huoshan huang taste that I love personally. It's both a bit fresher compared to the, at least my recent memory of the 2022. As some of you might know, uh, that one is kind of a daily drinker of mine. I drink it quite frequently, so it hasn't been long since I last tried it. And of course, uh, it won't be as fresh as it was when it was harvested last year. But in terms of flavor profile, once again, this one is absolutely spot on. I just going by what I sense in this tea, I have a slight feeling that this one might have received more yellowing than the one from the previous year. Because those kind of comfortable and more mellow aromas that come with that are very much present in this one. Okay. I'm not gonna wait too long. I'm just gonna start the second steep right away. When I prepare yellow tea, or more specifically Huoshan huang cha, the way I do, I use 3 grams 100 milliliter gaiwan 85 degrees Celsius water, and I can be quite flexible when it comes to steep times. Of course, I tend to go a bit longer with such a kind of light ratio, so this isn't exactly what people would consider gongfu cha, but this is how, in my opinion, the tea turns out to be most kind of comfortable and pleasant. Just really good. Yeah. I mean, this is one of my favorite teas for good reason. And the producer that makes this one has been quite has been doing a pretty outstanding job in my opinion, because all of the different batches we've had, they've all been kind of different from each other, but at the same time they've all been good in their own right, and each one of these batches has something in there that makes them stand out a bit from each other. So good. Let's see. Here's steep number 2. So this one sat for a little longer. We do notice the slightly darker color, but overall still a like nice and clear tea. Looking forward to seeing how this one changes on the second steep. With the way I prepare this tea, I usually get a total of around 4 steeps out of it, sometimes 5, depending on how long I decide to go with the individual steeps. So these 3 grams of tea prepared this way translate to about 4 to 500 milliliters of liquid. A little less, obviously, because there's leaves in there and whatnot, but something in that ballpark. Now, before I start saying too much about the second steep, if you enjoy me doing videos for nannuoshan, and if you enjoy these tea videos in general, please take a moment, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the nannuoshan YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and the comments are always open. I always try to respond. I try to take a bit of time to have a discussion with everyone in there. And yeah, are you somebody who also likes Huoshan Huang Ya or Huoshan Huang Cha? Do you have any experience with the different batches that have been on the nannuoshan store or on other stores as well? If so, please let me know. I'd love to hear your impressions of the tea, and if you've kind of gone through a similar journey as me with these different teas. I'd love to hear what your thoughts were on the different batches that we've had throughout the years. Okay, I'm gonna start steep number 3 even earlier. Maybe we can still get some of that into the video. I have been making a bit of an effort to keep these videos more concise. Okay, so what's happening here on the second steep? Long steep time. So we do have a tiny little bit of astringency coming out. I think this also used to be the case with the 2022 Huoshan Huangya, when it was still quite fresh, but that particular aspect is something that's going to vanish quickly. And it really only happens when you steep it for as long as I did, which I think most of you probably won't. But it's still super nice, and the mouthfeel is so comfortable. The flavors all blend together nicely into this kind of slightly chocolatey, nutty bouquet with just a few other things sprinkled in here and there that keep your interest. And kind of like a savoriness that isn't vegetal like in a fresh tea, but much more mellow and much more comfortable because of that. Alright, that was steep number 2. I'm just gonna go into steep number 3 right away. Leaves still smell really good. Let's see. Maybe I can show this to you again. So here's what the wet leaves look like after 3 steeps. They do look fairly green, but that's kind of to be expected. There's no real difference there when it comes to the different batches of Huoshan Huangcha that have been featured on this channel. Of course, if you haven't watched the old video, I do recommend you go back and watch that one as well. That way you get to see my impressions of different batches of this tea. Alright, here's steep number 3. I'm just gonna wait and let this cool down for just a little moment. Still nice smells on the pitcher as well. So everything wonderful on that end. From what I can say so far is that this batch of Huoshan huang has knocked it out of the park again. It's quite fantastic. I like it a lot. I ordered a big bag of the previous one because I was drinking it so frequently, and I think I'm probably going to do the same thing again this time. I just want to have all of these teas around so I can enjoy them at my leisure. Yeah. Very good. Very enjoyable. If you want to try a tea that I just like, really like, that's comfortable to me, then this might be one of the first ones I'd recommend. It's just so nice. But yeah, these are my impressions of the 2023 Huoshan Huangcha. It will be on the nannuoshan shop. You should be able to find a link in the description of this video if you're interested in the tea, or if you're interested in a lot of other things relating to nannuoshan. I have been Sigi. This was the 2023 Huoshan Huangya. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.